All right, got another group match. This time between Frank Venom 94 for Central and Chris where is Sire 90. I'm going to butcher it. I'm just going to say Chris from now on, but yeah, I mean, before anything, drop a like, subscribe. I mean, if you enjoy the content, encourage me to keep doing more, and I do have a lot more to get posted, but let's go and get started. So we've got Frank with the Kamo-O, Cinderace, Slowking, Galar, Melmetal, Rillaboom, and Lando, and then Chris brought Slowking, Magearna, Heatran, Zapdos, Gastrodon, and Zarude. So let's go ahead and get started. So Chris leads with Magearna, Frank leads Lando. He's probably gonna U-turn here, and then Magearna is probably just gonna click Volt Switch. He clicks Ice Beam. Probably should have clicked Volt Switch just to kind of maintain momentum, but Slowking comes out. He doubles back into Lando. I mean, here he goes Zapdos. I mean, it's a free U-turn. I'm guessing his Rock Setter is the Kamo-O. I think I say "oh" too many times. And he goes Slowking, and I mean, it's basically a free Future Sight right here. Unfortunately, he has Zarude, Magearna, and Heatran to deal with Future Sight. And so the Slowking catches the Future Sight, which is I mean, it's good for Frank. I think he just might have mistimed the turns, and Lando comes out. And I mean, Lando takes the Future Sight himself too, and I mean it's a free pivot into U-turn here. And he goes Kamo. And I mean, free rocks for Heatran, and I think it's free rocks for Kamo-O as well. I mean, Zapdos, if he wants to, can get a free defog here, but he goes into Slowking. Slowking catches the Hurricane, gets confused, which is really unfortunate, and he clicks Volt Switch, and Slowking can go for a Future Sight here or teleport. He hurt himself, which is very unfortunate. That sucks. So he hard switches into Kamo-O. Slowking clicks Future Sight, which I mean pretty much puts the Kamo on a timer. I mean, he doesn't want to catch that. Zapdos comes out. He goes in the middle to basically take the Future Sight, as well as being able to pressure the Zapdos a bit. And he leaves instead of defogging, he goes straight into Heatran. I mean, personally, he could have just defogged there, just get rid of rocks on his side. Melmetal goes for Protect, and I mean, dodges the Magma Storm. And he goes into Kamo, which he misses the Magma Storm. Goes Zapdos here. And Kamo goes for Taunt, which I mean prevents the Zapdos from defogging, and he goes into Slowking. Best thing probably for him to do is just click either Hurricane and he gets infused again, lands the hit and gets the confusion, which I mean that sucks, but I mean it happens. And he misses that Hurricane. And he goes Melmetal goes to Protect to basically get some more health, and it prevents him from Volt Switching out immediately. So then he gets the Volt Switch off, and he's probably going to Heatran again. Oh, he goes Gastro. Yeah, I mean Gastro kind of like hard walls the Melmetal. I mean, he clicked High Horsepower, predicting him to go into Heatran there. So it was a good move by Chris for going into Gastro. And he goes back into Kamo. He clicks Earthquake, doesn't really do anything, does 20%. Goes back into Zapdos. Goes for taunt. I'm guessing the Kamo isn't carrying Toxic. Goes back to Melmetal. And he clicks Hurricane. Does a solid 23%. Luckily he didn't get confused. And he goes to Protect to kind of like scout. I mean, the Zapdos is obviously going to press Volt Switch. And he goes back into Gastro. Goes for Ice Punch, which doesn't really do nearly enough damage. And it's an easy, I mean, click Protect here. Well, I guess I would have clicked Protect to regain some health. And I think he would have gotten to the range where Stealth Rocks wouldn't have killed. Because right now he's at, 9%. He would still survive. So goes Zapdos here. Easy knockoff. And avoids the para, thankfully. Goes back into Slowking. Slowking can't really take two Hurricanes. So he's got to kind of be careful here. So he can take a Hurricane, then, I mean, he has to immediately press Teleport. Or, I mean, do that. Takes the Volt Switch. That was a risky play because, I mean, I expected the Hurricane, and I think the Hurricane probably should have been used. So he gets an Earthquake off. Only does 29% to the Slowking. So he's got to switch out. Goes to his own Slowking Galar. He's got to remember the Future Sight. Yeah, I think that Volt Switch puts the Slowking in the range of Future Sight. Oh no, it actually survived. Alright, so he goes for Protect against the Magearna. And unfortunately, the Future Sight does take out Melmetal. Goes into Cinderace, so he's Heavy Duty Boots because you didn't see the Rocks damage. Goes Rillaboom for the Gastrodon, and with Zapdos gone, Rillaboom can actually do a little bit more. Except he does have to worry about the Zarude. Well, pretty much a lot of things. Slowking Galar too. So I mean, U-turn's probably the best move here. Yep. And goes into Lando. I mean, Lando T just needs to kind of press U-turn. It goes for a knockoff. I would have went U-turn because I mean, there's no way that he's staying in. But getting rid of the item is definitely like key here. And you can't use Recover, so I mean, definitely if he had Toxic on the Kamo, it would have been like a lot. Things have been a lot easier. But yeah, I mean, Zarude's gonna switch in, and he can't touch Zarude at all, really, since there's no Toxic. He goes Magearna. Goes for Body Press. Okay. I don't know. I think Toxic might have actually been more beneficial here then. But Magearna gets the boost because Kamo died. He goes Lando. I mean, easy U-turn here. Yeah, I think U-turn would have been the best play because I mean, Magearna's not staying in. Goes Gorilla. Those are jungle healing, and now, I mean, it's an easy U-turn here. Goes for a Zen headbutt. I mean, high jump kick. Yeah, I mean, he lands a high jump kick on a thing that you don't really care that it hits. But yeah, go for Zen headbutt here will be pretty key. He just needs to land everything. So goes into Gastrodon. Gastrodon catches the Pyro Ball, which, I mean, he just eats up. And probably the best thing is to... Best thing would have probably been to go into Rilla. Just because Rilla immediately pressures the Gastrodon. Because, I mean, Cinderace is not beating Gastrodon. Yeah, that's what I mean too. Like, he's staying in with the Cinderace like entirely too long. Because Cinderace still has a lot of ability to beat stuff like Zarude, Heatran, and Magearna, when Rillaboom could have just been the automatic switch in, just like U-turn and get some pivots in. So he goes for an Eerie Spell. Heatran comes in, goes for Future Sight, which doesn't really... Goes for an Eerie Spell, gets rid of that. I mean, he's kind of got himself in a tight spot here, because now Heatran, I mean, Rillaboom can't really beat the rest of these mons, especially since I believe it's Choice Bandit. And Lando cannot switch in freely. Yeah, and it's pretty much GG at this point. And bye-bye Rillaboom. And Chris wins game 1. So here's game 2. And Frank brought Tapu Koko, Nidoking, Cinderace, Urshifu, Lando, and Latias. And Chris brought Slowking. Oh, he brought the same team. Okay. Alright, goes for U-turn on the U-turn and hits the Zapdos. He goes into Tapu Koko. Goes into Latias. And he goes for the trick. And hits with Psychic, which eats that up. And goes into Urshifu. And he sends in Heatran. I mean, right here, I mean, Urshifu can kind of do what Urshifu does and just tee off a bit, except Zapdos is in the back. Honestly, he probably should have went with Wicked Blow instead of Close Combat. And the reason I say that is because Wicked Blow still hits everything hard. Whereas Close Combat, I mean, because the Zapdos switching is pretty obvious, basically. So Coco comes in, clicks Dazzling Gleam, and does a lot of damage to the Gastrodon, but I mean, not enough to 2-hit KO, so he has to switch out. So he goes back into Urshi. Goes Latias, and I mean, he takes that Ice Beam well since he's AV. And he goes back, he goes into Cinderace here, and Cinderace is best bet, and he misses the Powerball, which really sucks. Might as well just click U-turn there. Yeah, I would have clicked U-turn for the guaranteed damage, but I mean, I guess he was expecting the Zapdos. And he pivots back into Coco. I think he might have forgotten about the Future Sight is about to hit this turn. Yeah, and wipes out the Coco. And Nidoking comes in, and like Nidoking just does Nidoking stuff. Clicks Earth Power. Ice Beam would have been the better move, because Ice Beam hits Zapdos, Gastrodon, and Zarude hard, and the other 3 mons, if they switch into Earth Power, I think it's an OHKO, and they can't really do much back to it. But I don't know, he might not actually be Ice Beam, judging from him having Flamethrower. So Lando comes in, I mean, clicks U-turn. Nidoking comes in for free again. But now, like I said, because he's weakened, he's now put himself in a kind of bad position. But I mean, he stays in with the Slowking, and Magearna comes out. He goes back to his Cinderace here. Clicks Ice Beam, and I mean, the best thing here is to just U-turn. He goes for a low kick. U-turn would have been the more optimal move, because I mean, obviously the Magearna Scarf and not staying in. Goes Urshi. And it's honestly best here to just try to tee off and do some, well, he switches into Latias to take the Hurricane. Which, I mean, Latias lacks recovery now, so it's not really the best play. He goes for a Volt Switch. Goes back to Magearna, and now Magearna kind of has like a little momentum, and he just sacks the Latias. And he gets the boost now. He goes in Urshifu, which, I mean, he could have, I don't know if he could have taken Ice Beam, but Wicked Blow kills the Zapdos finally. And oh, the Urshifu's Life Orb, so yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, he could have, Sucker Punch wouldn't have killed there, so I mean, close combat, that was the time to click close combat. And he gets rid of the Zarude. So he goes for a Sucker Punch, gets some damage off on the Magearna, who's locked in Ice Beam now. So he goes to Cinderace, and he sends out Gastrodon and clicks low kick. I mean, it's gonna be tough to really get past that thing. He goes into his Lando, and not Magearna, Gastrodon clicks recover, and Gastrodon just kind of like hard walls the Lando, and Lando gets up free rocks here. He goes for recover, goes for EQ. Yeah, I guess he could have just recovered and just kind of like whittle him down a little bit more. Now Nidoking comes in for free basically, and clicks Earth Power and just gets the Gastrodon down a good bit. And now Cinderace comes in, and low kick should kill here. Low kick knocks it down to 0. He goes for sucker punch. And with Magearna, he uses trick to give to basically lock Cinderace into low kick, which is not the move, because I'm pretty sure sucker punch wouldn't have killed the Magearna, and that pretty much like cost him the game by going for trick instead of just like outright killing. But GG's, it's tied up 1-1, and here comes game 3. And Frank brought Shuckle, Zapdos Galar, Nihilego, Spectier, Rillaboom, and Volcarona. And Chris brought Zapdos Galar, Slowking Galar, Corv, Swamp, Magearna, and Toxapex. Alright, so he leads with Magearna and Shuckle. And I mean, Shuckles tend to run like Encore, so he can pretty much lock this thing in and prevent it from sweeping. And we're gonna switch this out, and he goes into Slowking Galar here. I'm not sure if his Shuckle's running Sticky Webs, but oh yeah, that Zapdos Galar is Defiant, so that would have been bad there. Goes Corv on that, and I mean Spectier, if it's Specs, can just kind of tee off. Yeah, it's Specs, so he can tee off on stuff and just whittle it down a bit for a sweep later game. So he goes Zapdos Galar, clicks Flip Turn, and now it's a Zapdos Galar versus Zapdos Galar matchup. Goes hard into Shuckle. So yeah, I mean, his Shuckle's probably carrying Sticky Webs, but because of the Zapdos Galar, it kind of like deters that a bit. So goes for Final Gambit. I'm not sure if I agreed with that, just because I feel like he had other mons to kind of handle Slowking Galar. Well, now to look at the team, not too much. But yeah, so that comes in, gets rid of that. He can't just OHKO the Toxapex, so it goes into Volk, which I believe is carrying Psychic. I mean, that's the only reason to switch a Volk into a Toxapex. And he just clicks Psychic and does a great deal of damage to the Zapdos. Goes into the Nihilego to just kind of sponge up the Brave Bird that's coming and to get that recoil to kill. And Magearna comes in, and he doesn't really have too much of a switching except for Volk, but like you have to really be oh, never mind, it is Shift Gear, so you don't have to worry about being tricked. And he goes for a Quiver Dance here. And I believe that he can pretty much take this out right here and now. And he also outspeeds. And I think that's GG, because I'm pretty sure Psychic will wipe out the Swampert, as well as the Toxapex. Yeah, that's why he forfeit. But GG's. I mean, Frank came back from 1-0. I mean, 0-1 to 2-1. Good battles. Hopefully this helps some people out. And like I said, I have a lot more to post, because this is a re-recording because the audio was a little messed up on the original.